G'day, legends. It's John, that Aussie Metal Guy here with Crannk.com. So today, tonight, wherever you are in the world, it is a great pleasure that we're getting to have a chat with Markus Daddy Laakso from Finland's the Ghoulstars. The band is set to release their debut album, The Dark Lords of the Universe, on May 15th through Season of Mist. This is by no means a debut for these guys. Prior, you guys have had a whole bunch of music between you, a whole bunch of awesome bands, from your other Death Doom band, Man to Hooded Menace, to so many other great bands you guys have had your fingers in as well. This album, though, is an absolute blast of horror, punk, metal, B-movie, chaos, VHS energy, big riffs, and shout along choruses. Markus, thank you so much for jumping on with me today, mate.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to do an interview with you.
Yeah, mate, the pleasure's all mine. Before we dive into the Ghoulstars and the new album, I always love going right back to the start. This one, I want to ask a couple of core memories for you. I'd like to ask one of your earliest core musical memories that made you the musician you are today, and then I would also ask something about a your earliest horror movie or sci-fi movie that sparked your love of movies.
Um, well, in Finland, when I was growing up, basically Kiss and Wasp and Twisted Sister and Mötley Crüe and stuff like that, they were basically children's music because every child was listening to them, or at least friends of mine and in the neighborhood that I grew up in Kuopio, Finland, which is sort of like in the central part of Finland. So I remember like before I found Kiss, which was probably my first love for music. I remember listening to my parents' vinyl records like Elvis and Dire Straits and Bonnie M and stuff like that. But when I discovered the bands that I mentioned and Scorpions, that was one of my favorites as well as a kid. That's where it started, and it progressed like to more aggressive stuff, step by step. And when I was about, I don't know, 13, 14, I discovered like bands like the Misfits, which made a huge impact on me. And obviously, that's sort of a link to the movies as well, because at that time, I discovered a lot of horror movies, and in Finland during the late 80s, early 90s, there was this law that you can't release certain movies in Finland, so they had to be censored. So my one of my dearest hobbies was to search for these uncut VHS movies, and I had a huge collection of like many hundreds of them. And but yeah, I don't know. At that time, I was watching like Bad Taste, Evil Dead,
Peter
Brain Dead.
Jackson, New Zealand. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Sam Raimi stuff and also Italian horror and Lucio Fulci's zombie stuff, cannibal stuff, and but I also enjoyed Nightmare on Elm Street and psychological horror stuff and also sci-fi, which I still love.
Yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
buying the same movies on so many different formats. It's stupid, but what can you do?
Did you manage to keep any of those VHS? Because they would be worth a bloody mint now, wouldn't they? You could just retire on your VHS.
Well, unfortunately, when I
On-
was changing to DVDs and from DVDs to Blu-rays, I gave this guy a huge collector friend of mine. I just gave all my VHSs to him. Well, perhaps I left like a dozen of them or something, but
There's a
he
bunch
had
of
my
people
collection.
our age that are kicking ourselves now, going, dude,
Yeah,
if we just held our VHS collection,
yeah.
we would be
But
great.
but in a way, I'm happy that I gave them away then to a friend that I know that appreciates them. Then going to some I don't know, flea market and selling them for €1 a piece or something, $1 a piece. But yeah, I have a lot of them on Blu-ray and DVD now, so
There you
that's
go.
fine.
That was a whole experience them days that some people won't bloody know about, that's for sure. Getting to Ghoulstars, mate, it feels like more than just a band. You got the names, the visuals, the horror reference, the whole themes around the music. Where did this first come to life for you?
Um, you mentioned my previous band, Kuolemanlaakso, and we were making an album, our latest album, Kuusumu, which came out in 2022. And that recording session was quite stressful and it stretched out. We had to like book an extra week for the studio recording because we had so many different like technical difficulties, and the songs were a little bit more harder to play than the previous album. So, but yeah, when we finished that album, I took a road trip with my family, and we drove to southern Finland. And as we were driving back home, I decided to put on the first Venom album for some reason after a long time of not listening to it. And I was just digging it like 100% and thinking to myself that this is the way to go. It's just three guys and they're barely playing their instruments
Yeah.
correctly, but still the attitude is very much there, and the songs kick ass. So I decided that this is something that I want to try out when I came back home. And what I did was that I made a promise to myself that I'm gonna write 10 songs in 10 days. And unfortunately, something came up on the latter weekend, but I did write 8 songs in 9 days. And I was feeling so inspired, and a lot of those songs ended up on this album. Not all of them, but most of them. And I wanted to like the first song that I wrote was Vampire, which is on this album. And if you listen to it carefully, you can hear the Venom references or the influences and sort of like early Celtic Frost type of stuff. But then I think on the very next day I wrote Grave Robbers from Outer Space, which is like almost 100% like horror punk.
Yeah.
Um, it's very punk rock, and um, as my project kept going, I just kept on adding more influences to make it more interesting for myself. And I absolutely didn't have any aspiration for world domination or anything like that. But I did realize that, damn, these songs are actually quite good. They're too good just to not have on my personal hard drive, and I need to make this a band. So I phoned up a few friends of mine and asked them to join, and or actually I asked them to come to this room, which is my home studio, and we had a ton of beers and then listened to my demos, and those guys were like, "Yeah, this is something that we want to do definitely." So that's when it sort of like picked up and evolved into a real band. And not that it didn't take that long for us to actually start playing live, but
Yeah.
we had never released a single second of music before the first single came out like a month ago or something. A
Yeah,
couple
I
of
know.
months.
You definitely hit the ground running as well. And speaking of that first single, Too Cool for School, pretty bloody cool coming in with the caddy as well, dude. What a cool film clip and track to kind of kick it off with.
Yeah. It was a very fun video to do. And as you mentioned, the Cadillac, there's this line that says, "Hey, sit back in my Cadillac." So I was thinking that because Cadillac is not a regular car around here, so I was thinking that do I know anybody that has a Cadillac here? And then I remembered that, oh yeah, there's this one collector guy who I know, and he has the former Cadillac of Alexi Laiho from Children of Bodom. So I just phoned him up. Hey, can we borrow your Cadillac for the shoot?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll just bring it." And a lot of that video has been shot at my former high school, which
Yeah.
is so cool. I hadn't been there in a really,
What a
really long
blast.
time. So it was in many ways a nostalgia trip, not only musically, but also as like video wise. And I used to live in San Diego, California for a couple of years when I was like I don't know 13 or something. And the lyrics are quite tongue in cheek, but and there's some basically like we're not gonna take it sort of Twisted
Yeah, yeah,
Sister
yeah.
vibe, but also I like those like high school coming of age comedies. So there's a little bit of that, plus my own experiences as a junior high school kid in California. So it's a combination of a lot of stuff that is important to me.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit of a trip doing high school over there, considering like I know it's a lot different than Europe and Australia, that's for sure. The Americans have
Yeah,
their
yeah, yeah.
own way of doing things as well.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's like what I like about the one of the things that I like about those coming of age comedies is that the like 80s stuff, there's like the nerds and the
Yep.
cool kids and the jocks and bad guys and teachers and stuff. So it's sort of like cartoon sketch setup.
Yeah, I really did love the also got to touch on the name there because same generation as you, 80s, 90s. I was born 1980, grew up in that time as well. The Dark Overlords of the universe, Howard the Duck, man.
Yeah.
What a great cinema pool, man. And like, if you watch like Too Ghoul for School, the other film clips, The Name, all these little pools, if you kind of take note, like Barbarella, all these different little things that you can grab from it if you're pretty clever, as well as you're mentioning the way he's playing on some tracks, the little touches here with the cinema touches as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And on that specific song, there are so many like Easter eggs, like
Yep.
as far as the lyrics and even the music goes. There's some like for example, sort of like a nod to Snoop Dogg, if you and and um uh Wayne's World movie, not only in the part where we go like this in the car, but also there's this the ballroom Blitz part of Wayne's World,
Yep.
Tia Carrera
Yeah.
singing and stuff. There's basically a similar drum beat in the C part and or not the C part, but the breakdown part, and there's so many different other you know tongue-in-cheek eye thingies that yeah, people will definitely when they hear them, if they get it, it will be such a bonus. Like for example, for you, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to sit back and take it all in. That's how my generation as well. Like I was like, dude, that, everything, and you were talking about the rap references as well. I love the names for you guys as well. It is just absolutely a bloody perfect, man. Hey, like,
Thank you.
yeah, it just fits so well. Daddy Ghoul, Ghoulio, Ghoul A, and Hella Ghoul, man. I was like, dude, that is a bloody perfect. Can't go wrong with that, man.
Yeah, we've had like all of us in the band have made somewhat gloomy stuff in the past, and this is
Yeah,
that not that happy, but anyways, it's entertaining and it's supposed to be fun, and
yeah.
that's the major difference
Well,
to our other bands or previous bands that we're allowed to have fun, and we've had so much fun, like coming up with the names and stuff, and thinking of stuff that we're gonna have on the videos, and yeah, the lyrics have been well, fun to write.
Yeah, and it's just heavy and it just has you banging your head all the way through this album. So many different hooks, and you were talking about the different themes, the bit of the Venom in there, and then you jump over like, and then Too Cool for School having that real punky vibe, and then the latest single, the Dark Lords of the Universe, Dark Overlords of the Universe, that's got another kind of sound going to it too,
Yeah,
but they're all so catchy, and I dare you not to be able to bang your head within 10 seconds of it.
yeah, yeah. On that, the Dark Overlords of the Universe single, what people have been comparing it to. I think somebody actually wrote that on Season of Mist's Facebook or something. So this is like Glory Hammer, but with ghouls. I was like, what the fuck? That's so cool. I haven't even heard Glory
Coolie
Hammer,
Hammer.
but I started listening to it and I was like, yeah, that guy sort of has a point.
Yeah.
And I started digging that stuff. But yeah, to my mind, I came up with the chorus first, and it
Yep.
just I had that melody stuck in my head, and it like rhythmically it fit perfectly with the "We are the dark overlords of the universe," that
Yeah.
melody stuff. So to my mind, when I was writing it, I thought of In Flames actually.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome track, man. I just noticed the vibes to the three different singles, which was really cool. You didn't just come out and go, okay, then these are the three singles and kind of all have three of the same sounding ones. It was three different kind of vibes of the album as well to kind of give you a taste of the album dropping on May 15th, which is 4 days from now. You must be pretty excited to kind of finally unleash this bad boy because the artwork on it and everything looks amazing. And you mentioned vinyl. It's kind of our age to need vinyl to be able to see it properly and have that dope artwork like that, man.
I am so happy. I haven't seen the actual vinyl or CD, but to me personally, it's so important of how the layout looks and what imagery is there, and I'm the one in all my bands who is in charge of every single word that goes to the booklet and stuff. But the vinyl and a CD too, it's going to be a digipack CD, but especially the vinyl. It's a gatefold, and wait until you see the back cover. It's almost as cool as the front cover, if not cooler. Space monsters, one-eyed thingies with lasers and stuff like that, and the gatefold has a pretty cool like a huge picture of the band and and also it will have like two-sided inserts like lyric sheet stuff. So I'm very excited about that. And the album has been recorded in a long time a long time ago. We actually recorded it self-financed and then started looking for a label to release it. So it has
Okay.
been recorded a long time ago. So I'm so happy to finally get it out and see what people think of it because, like you mentioned, all the singles are quite different from each other. But then there's stuff like Zombie Apocalypse, for
The
example.
Ballad of the Cursed Bandit, dude, that was a killer track, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, dudes, and like you're kind of picturing in your head, like, dude, this would be cool as a movie theme. Each one kind of, you no doubt you wrote this, so you probably had all that running in your head as you were writing these a bit, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one has like like horse samples,
Yep,
basically a horse solo,
yeah,
and
dude.
and train samples and six shooters going on, and it's basically like a miniature movie.
Dude, I know, I absolutely loved it, man. Like these, and going back and playing again and listening to whole albums, it does feel like almost like you're on a whole movie ride with you guys as well, but in the best fucking possible way that you want to come back and do it again.
Thank you. And we wanted to keep the album short, and
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons actually that people um, want to listen to it again when it stops and not be like exhausted about listening to the record, but keeping them wanting more is much better than like getting them all tired.
Yeah, and then being able to sing along to it. Like by the time the second playthrough was on, I was already like singing along to it, and like, yeah, it was such a great album. I know the listeners are really going to enjoy it as well. Apart from the three singles, the rest of the album is absolutely amazing. Um, Tell me a little bit about what it's been like. Kind of dropping this out. You done all the recording for this, didn't you? As you mentioned quite a while ago, you done all the recording before you kind of sent it off, and I think you got V Santura to do the mixing and mastering for it. It must have been hard to kind of a bit. Oh, there we go. Kind of let it off then at that point.
Yeah, we recorded it at many different locations.
Yeah.
I recorded a lot of stuff in this room, like for example, guitars and lead vocals and percussions and stuff like that. And we recorded half of the bass tracks here and half elsewhere. And we recorded some vocals with Matthias from Ventrol and Oceans, who's a good friend of mine and a kick-ass musician and an engineer. And I've been making a lot of records with V Santura from Triptychon, who is my like I have two number one go-to guys. One of them is Toni Ronkainen, the drummer of the Ghoulstars. I phoned him. I've always when I have a new project, he's the one I call first. And V Santura has, I think I've made four albums and two EPs before this one with V Santura. So he and I are like mentally connected. He instantly knows what I'm trying to accomplish, and he's such a versatile mixing guy. So it was great to be working with him, and he's also quite excited about the album. And he he actually sent me a message that about this new video that we made, the Dark Overlords of the Universe, which was actually directed by me
Yeah.
personally. But the previous, he sent me that, hey, your latest video was so cool, but I actually enjoy Grave Robbers from Outer Space more because it's so like 10 out of 10 and 0 out of 10 at the same time, and it's so fun. And he was like, he was laughing his ass off, and when he finished watching it, he watched it again.
Yeah.
So that's like the best compliment anyone can get from that video. So yeah, he's a good friend of mine, and I'm happy to be working with him again.
Yeah, some nod to Ed Wood there as well. Everybody, you need to go check these clips out, Marcus. This has been an absolute pleasure. Everybody, the debut album from the Ghoulstars, The Dark Overlords of the Universe, does drop May 15th through Season of Mist. Everybody, make sure you go check it out. Crank it loud because the neighbors are going to want to rock along as well. Last word, shout outs, thank yous are all on you, my friend.
Thank you to everybody who listened to this interview and check out our videos. And I highly recommend checking out the whole album. I'm super proud of it. So if you're into nostalgic shit and horror movies and sci-fi and fun stuff that is somehow connected to all the above mentioned, check it out. If you don't enjoy it, I will be surprised.